We have already discussed in the previous session regarding the heterostructure of the LED, in which we have different layers. Okay, you can see there is a P, there is a N junction. Okay, normally you'll be having a junction like this for a semiconductor diode. This is your P, this is your N. So what is the difference that you find here? You can see the 5 different layers, out of which these central 3 layers are important. These two are the confinement layers, and the central one is the active region through which the light is getting emitted. Okay, there is one small mistake in this. Please rectify this, because 2 figures I have mixed up. Here I have taken the P type, here it is N type, but in the band diagram, here I have taken the electrons, and here it is holes. So either you reverse this band diagram, or better you can reverse the material types. That would be better, because again these diagrams have to be inverted. So rather than doing that, better you go for these changes. Okay, make these N type, these P types, and accordingly make it a forward bias. Okay, forward bias will be something like this, right? This is P, this is N. So please make that correction. Now coming to the today's session, today's topic, we will be discussing about the LED source materials. We have seen the gallium arsenide, or the alloy, that is gallium aluminum arsenide. They were being used in the active region and the confinement regions. Okay, we have seen this in the heterostructure. So coming to that, the different light source materials that we can use. Okay, let us have the discussion on that. When we go for choosing the material for the fabrication of this LED, that is a light source, very important thing is your active layer, that is the central one, which whose band gap is equally important. Okay, some of the parameters on which it is dependent is the band gap. That's why we have even studied in the semiconductor basics what is the direct and indirect band gap. So when we go for choosing of the material for these light source LEDs and lasers, so one of the important criteria is the band gap. The semiconductors used for active layer, it should have a direct band gap. Okay, we have seen already there are 2 types of band gaps, direct and indirect. In case of direct, there will be no difference in the momentum. Directly the electrons in the conduction band, they can jump to the valence band, and in this process they emit the that they lose the energy, right? That is the this energy is in the form of the light. So it is visible because it has got its own wavelength. If that wavelength it falls in that range, then it is visible to us. Okay, so when we go for LED structure, the direct band gap type of material, we use it. When the where the electrons and holes, they recombine directly across the band gap. So we don't need any third barrier. Just like in case of indirect band gap, we have seen we need phonon, right? A third particle, just to carry it, to conserve the momentum, and then it can jump. It is something like this. Yahan se directly nahi jayega wo. It will come to one stage, and from this it will go below. Okay. Coming to this direct band gap materials, we prefer, okay, only the indirect band gap material, only in, sorry, these two are different things. Okay, only in case of a direct band gap material, a radiative recombination is sufficiently high. We will see what is a radiative recombination further. Okay, this is very high in case of direct band gap, because यहाँ पर कोई आपको third particle नहीं चाहिए. Okay, no need of any mediator. Directly it can jump, it can have the recombination. So radiative recombination is high in case of direct band gap material to produce the adequate level of optical emission, that is light. None of the normal single element semiconductor, just like in its purest form, if you take the silicon as a semiconductor, you cannot have this. That is normal single element semiconductors, silicon या germanium hai, they cannot have these direct band gap materials. So what we do, we go for mixtures. That is might be you have studied this in chemistry, binary compounds. If you have the oxygen as the element, it's a binary compound. that is made up of two different elements. This is the binary compound. Okay, so this is one example I've given you. Single element oxygen hai, uska binary compound, it can be water, H2 and O. Two different elements are combined there. In nature, abundantly, you can find binary and tertiary, quaternary compounds. One more example for I think ternary I have given you. Three different elements combination. Na, sodium and the chlorine, NaCl. Okay, or put together, you will get NaCl, the salt. You have a ternary, that is three different elements getting combined, Na, N and O3. So these three, this is example for ternary, this is example for binary compound. So if you take the single element, you don't have the direct gap. When the direct gap exists, if you go for binary compounds, and binary compounds you can find in a group 3 elements and group 5 elements, important. Okay, even they are used in doping. Various ternary and quaternary combinations of binary compounds of these elements are also used. Agar aap gallium use kar rahe ho and arsenide, okay, these are the binary compounds. If you go for its ternary compounds, quaternary compounds also, they also exhibit this direct band gap, okay, which is the requirement for us for LED source. Now, specifically, if I take the operation within this wavelength, that is 800 to 900 nanometer in terms of nanometer, that is angstrom, 10 to the power of, what is this? 10 to the power of minus 10 is angstrom. For the operation in 800 to 900 nanometer wavelength, the principal material, the major material that we use is a ternary alloy. This we have already seen in the heterostructure. We had used gallium, aluminum, arsenide. We have taken this as an alloy. Okay, we didn't get into the details of X. What is this X? Probably you might have studied about this mole in chemistry. So what is the X? X is a mole factor. Okay, just to explain you what is a mole ratio or mole factor, I have given one example here. You can see mole ratio is, or the mole factor is a conversion factor. It will relate the amount, okay, this amount will be in moles of any two substances involved in chemical reaction. Okay, try to understand what do you mean by mole ratio. If you understand this, then you can understand kitna part of gallium, kitna part of aluminium react ho raha hai. That information you can get it. If this is one equation, chemical reaction ho raha hai, you have H2 plus N2, you'll get NH3. Okay, ammonia. If you can see, one example I have given you, the mole factor for H2 and N2 is 1 mole of N2, okay, 1 mole of N2 divided by 3 mole of H2. So, kitna amount of those elements they are getting into the reaction, that how much they are involved in the reaction, that information is got by this mole factor or the mole ratio. So similarly, you can see you have 1 minus X and aluminum for gallium and aluminum. So this part you can get it. What is the aluminum and what is gallium? You have how much amount of, in terms of moles, these substances are involved in the reaction. That is your mole factor X. Coming to the materials again, the ratio of aluminum arsenide and gallium arsenide. That's why you have two here. Okay, gallium arsenide and aluminum arsenide. So two different compounds are involved. They determine the band gap. Because we want direct band gap. Single agar aap semiconductor loge to it is not possible to have the direct band gap. But if you go for these binary and ternary compounds, you will get a direct band gap, especially by the proper choosing of this X. Okay, we can have a better radiance. Okay, in turn it will determine the wavelength. Okay, ये जो मैंने statement यहाँ पे लिखा है, the ratio X of these two compounds, they determine the band gap, and in turn this value of X determines the wavelength. This I have drawn it here in the graph. You can see यहाँ पर, this is your X mole factor, this is your band gap, and in turn you have the wavelength. अगर आप properly choose करोगे x value, you will get a different value of band gap, and you can see ये direct band gap के लिए है, and these dotted lines, this is for indirect. Now we want this direct band gap. You can see this mole factor x, it is giving the band gap energy, okay, जो barrier रहेगा in between the conduction and the valence band. In turn, it is giving you the operating wavelength. So x, by choosing wisely, you can have the required band gap and the wavelength. Okay, the value of x, it is usually chosen generally जो हमारा requirement है 800 to 900 nanometer के आसपास है. Now, one example I have taken for x is equal to 0.08. If I take the mole ratio 0.08, what kind of LED, how it will emit? Emission का spectrum कैसे होगा? How the intensity of the light will vary? You can see here. The peak value we have got somewhere here. Okay, relative output power. And a peak value at what wavelength I am getting? It is at the center, that is at 810. As I said, generally operating wavelength is 800 to 900 nanometer. अगर आप मैं x value 0.08 लेती हूँ, then I am getting a peak value at 810 nanometers wavelength, and you can see this is 36 nanometer. This is half power, what we call, and it is the spectral width. We have even discussed about the spectral width in case of scattering also, dispersion and scattering, the range of the wavelengths or the frequencies that one particular material is able to send. Okay, that is what the spectral width. So it is 36 nanometer. You can see the peak is 810, and the width of the spectral pattern, you can see half power point. We call this half power point as FWHM, just like HPBW, how we have seen in case of the patterns, radiation patterns of the antennas, half power beam width. Here it is full width, half maximum. You can see it has got the full width, but half of the maximum. Okay, around 0.5. अगर maximum 1 है तो half of the maximum. So that is FWHM. That is a spectral width. In our example, it is a 36 nanometers. Now, I have taken one example here, and we have got the peak of 810. However, generally the operating wavelength will be 800 to 850 or 900 nanometers. Now, talking about much more, longer wavelengths. Okay, that time the material here we have used gallium aluminum arsenide. Okay, ternary compound hai, but here you can see quaternary alloy we have used. Okay, how many? 4 elements are involved: In, Ga, As, and P. Okay, 4 different elements are involved here. So for higher wavelengths, this is the preferable material. Okay, now by varying the mole fractions, as I said, x, in here in the quaternary we will be coming across one more mole factor, y. If it is ternary, only x. If it is quaternary, we have 2 mole factors, x and y. So by properly choosing or varying these x and y values in the active region, we can get the peak values at the wavelengths between 1 to 1.7 micrometers. Okay, you can convert it to nanometer. You can check how much wavelength it can operate out. Okay. The generally used alloys for optical sources, gallium aluminum arsenide, because we are talking about the optical source materials. कौन से materials use करने से we will be getting the high emission. One is gallium aluminum arsenide, which is a ternary compound. One more is quaternary compound, that is alloy InGaAsP. P is the phosphide, gallium arsenide. In is what? Hope you know about it. You have studied the periodic table. Because it is possible to match the lattice parameters. As I told you in the earlier session, what do you mean by a heterostructure? Let us just go back to that slide and show you. I will show you. What do you mean by the heterostructure? Heterostructure में क्या होगा? In the homojunction LED, सेम मटेरियल यूज करते हैं. ओके, एक गैलियम आर्सेनाइड रहेगा, आप डोपिंग अलग अलग कर लोगे. दैट इज योर होमो जंक्शन एलईडी. इफ यू कम टू हेटेरो जंक्शन, whatever semiconductor you use, you'll be using two semiconductors which are having the same lattice parameter. Lattice parameter same rahega, but band gaps alag hoga. So same lattice parameters is important to achieve in case of heterostructure. So that's why that I'm stressing out why we are using two different materials. One is ternary, one is quaternary. Okay, but if we use these two, it is possible for us to match the lattice. Same lattice parameters we can match, even though with these alloys we can have different band gaps. Okay. Using the fundamental quantum mechanics, we have studied already in the physics, quantum theory you have studied, how the energy of the photon, you take it equals to h mu, or this is your frequency, that is h into c by lambda. Okay, so the emission wavelength in case of LED, that is lambda, it can be expressed as a function of band gap energy Eg. Okay, अगर आप ये conduction band है, ये valence band है, this we call it band gap energy Eg, and Eg we can express in terms of the lambda we can get it in terms of Eg. How? For LED, lambda is equal to, in micrometers, 1.24 divided by Eg. Okay, this 1.24 factor has come because of the heterostructure. Okay, so this is your wavelength. These equations for E equals to hc by lambda and lambda is equal to 1.24 divided by Eg. These two equations will be helpful while solving the problems. And even, yes, this is important. One more equation we have, the energy gap Eg. How we can get this Eg? Eg is equal to, in case of your LED, we have the empirical equation 1.424 plus 1.66 266x, x is the mole ratio or mole factor, 0.266 x square. So this is the formula you use to find Eg. Once Eg is found, we can find the wavelength. One more example I have taken here. Much longer wavelengths, 1300 nanometer wavelength hai. So we have already studied edge emitting LED and surface emitting LED. Just have the comparison. You can see whatever the dark line which I have indicated, this is your edge emitting LED. Uska agar spectral width dekhoge, it is 75 nanometers. But if you see this surface emitting LED, thoda widened hai. The graph is somewhat widened. Spectral width range bhi thoda zyada hai, 125 nanometer. So the output spectral width of surface emitting LED, it is tend to be much broader compared to the edge emitting LED. So this is one graph I have shown you. This is one formula, probably may not be used, but as a note I have given you, sometimes you may use it in the problems. One of the important parameter of gallium arsenide is the refractive index, because we are using the semiconductors, and refractive index plays a very important role while transmission. Propagation ke liye refractive index plays a very important role. In free space, obviously air is the medium, you don't have much the velocity and those things, but if the medium changes, most of the parameters will change. So if I choose gallium arsenide as the base substrate for making this LED source, and then I can use different alloys, binary and ternary compounds. If I use this gallium arsenide, the refractive index, it is important, which is a function of lambda. And lambda ka range dekh sakte ho. What is the operating wavelength? If lambda is within this range, that is 0.89 to 4.1 micrometer. If lambda is in this range, then the refractive index n square is equal to this, or n is equal to, you can have square root of. Okay, so this is the formula which I have given you. Now coming to the next topic, that is quantum efficiency and LED power. One of the important concept in case of LED to explain probably or derive the equations. Quantum efficiency. What do you mean by efficiency? In general, we define any efficiency term as the output got divided by the input applied. That is what we generally take. What is the efficiency? आपने कितना apply किया था, कितना आपको मिला है. That is the efficiency. Talking about the quantum efficiency, when I have a heterostructure like this, okay, we have 5 different layers, right? The ends are for metal contacts. Central one is the active region. These are two are the confinement layers. Okay. So talking about the quantum efficiency, talking about the quantum efficiency, we have two parts here. The quantum efficiency, we can find it. One is the internal quantum efficiency. In the sense, internally कितना efficient है आपका LED. In the sense, okay, let me take the brief, then I'll tell you. First is internal, the second one is external. Okay, there are two quantum efficiencies we'll be discussing. So let us see what is internal quantum efficiency. That is IQE or QE simply. That is in the active region. So internally, how much it is efficient to give you the light, okay, to produce the light. If you say, if this is your LED, okay, assume that this is your LED. Internally, how much it is capable of giving you the light. This is your internal quantum efficiency. Now, talking about the external efficiency, it is जितना आपका प्रोड्यूस हुआ है इनसाइड पावर या फिर लाइट, how much it is capable of giving you out. That is external. Internal is a different thing. That is inside कितना generate हो रहा है. External कितना आपको मिल रहा है. Okay, so there are two parts, internal and external. So let us discuss the first type, that is internal. Let us discuss the internal quantum efficiency first. So this is in your active region. Okay, internally कितना power या फिर कितना light generate हो रहा है. We will see that. Internal quantum efficiency in the active region, it is the ratio of number of carriers collected in the active region to the number of recombinations. In the sense, we have already seen in case of a heterostructure, there's something in case of forward bias. What has happened here? I had taken P and this I had taken N. So P positive, N negative. So forward biasing में क्या होगा? Because of these repulsions, carriers will be forced to move into the active region. Similarly here, due to these repulsion, the carriers were moving into the active region. So what is happening? These carriers are diffused into the active region, and active region is what? More and more charge carriers will be accumulated in the active region. So that is the ratio of number of carriers collected in the active region due to this heterostructure to the number of recombinations. कितना आपने supply किया है, okay? Due to the forward bias, how many charge carriers are collected in the active region divided by to the out of these many collected charge carriers, out of them, how many are having the recombinations? Recombinations, electron hole pair hai, they are of having opposite charges, so they'll obviously they recombine. So recombination process takes place inside, but every hole and every electron may not recombine. Okay, we don't know. Some may get lost, some may have some less energy, I don't know, some due to some reasons, some may not be successful in recombining. Only few may get recombined. That's why jitna supply hua hai, it is not necessary that all will recombine. That's why it is the ratio of carriers collected to the number of recombinations in the active region. If we have again two terms here, one is a radiative recombination, the other one is non-radiative. Okay, let me explain you that, then we can go for the equations. Radiative recombination means whenever at the active region jo electron and holes collect hue hain, whenever the recombination occurs, okay, free electrons and are captured by the atoms, and because of the recombinations, light is getting emitted. That is what is we require. That is LED इसीलिए हम use करते हैं कि recombination process की वजह से light emit हो. So this is we call this radiative recombination. Because of the recombinations in the active region, because of the collection of different opposite charge carriers in the active region, they are recombined. Due to the recombination process, light is getting emitted, okay, for emission of photons. That is called radiative recombination. We have got one more, that is the non-radiative recombination, which most of the devices may have. Whatever electron energy is there, it is converted to vibrational energy, and vibrational energy means phonons. And because this energy is converted into heat. Most of the times power dissipation aise hi hoga in the form of a heat, right? So this is non-radiative. But here in case of LED, most of the times radiative recombination is considered. We have two different types of recombinations. Okay. Having understood these two terms, so let us define this internal quantum efficiency in terms of these. If I take radiative recombination rate, okay, the rate at which kitna fast ye recombination ho raha hai, that is RR. And non-radiative, okay, jo bhi energy hai inside, it is getting lost as a heat, okay, that rate is RNR. So RR and RNR, if I denote, then I can express the internal quantum efficiency, that is eta INT subscript, as the ratio of radiative recombination rate RR divided by total recombination rate. How much of just a second. Yeah, how much of your in the active region, how many recombinations are taking place and how many are emitting the photons, how much light is getting emitted, that is nothing but your output. Light is the output divided by the total. It may be light, it may be the heat. So that is the denominator. So how many, that is radiative recombination rate in the numerator divided by total recombination rate. So output by input, we will be getting the internal quantum efficiency. Okay. Now, we have another two terms. We can also express what we have this formula. Okay. Now, this formula is important for us. We will be proceeding further by using this as the base. Because ultimately, what is the heading? Quantum efficiency and LED power. We want to see what is the power. Uske liye we will be using this equation. So RR divided by RR plus RNR. Now I can further use these terms in terms of times, lifetime. We have one more new term here, radiative recombination lifetime. Kitne time ke liye? How much, till how much time your radiative recombination will take place. That is the lifetime. That is denoted as tau R. It is given by number of carriers present divided by recombination rate. जितने होंगे, जब तक आपके carriers होंगे, तब तक ही ये हो पाएगा. That is tau R. And a non-radiative recombination lifetime, that is tau NR. Sorry, I forgot. Add it lifetime. Okay. Tau NR is जितने carriers होंगे तब तक non-radiative recombination होगा. If N is not present, carriers are not present, then this will not exist. So tau R and tau NR are N by RR, N by RNR. Now what I will do, by these two equations which I have given you, tau R and tau NR, here I will rearrange this. I will take out what is RR, exchange these two. RR is equal to N by tau R. Here also RNR is equal to N by tau NR. So I'm just exchanging these two places so that I can get the value of RR and RNR, because I can substitute them here. Using those equations, I've substituted, you can see N by tau R divided by RR, N by tau R plus N by tau NR. In the denominator, you can take n by tau r common so that ये दोनों cancel हो जाएंगे. You'll be left with 1 plus tau r by tau n r. Okay, this is one equation. Or starting from this, what I can do, n will be cancelled, right? If I take in the denominator term n common, this n and this n gets cancelled. 1 by tau r divided by this. And this denominator term, we call it bulk recombination lifetime altogether. Dono milke. We call it bulk recombination lifetime. 1 by tau is equal to 1 by tau r plus 1 by tau nr. So what I will do, I will substitute this as 1 by tau. See, 1 by tau r as it is in the numerator. Out of, because in place of denominator, I'm putting it 1 by tau. So just readjustment, tau by tau r. So this is your internal quantum efficiency, tau by tau r. The tau and tau and r, they are comparable for the, that is almost same. Okay, they are comparable for the direct band gap in the sense, agar aap active region mein we have many charge carriers, there is an equal possibility that thode recombine honge and they will emit light. 50% we can almost. Comparable means they are almost equal. So the chances are that equal chances are there that radiative recombination bhi hoga and non-radiative bhi hoga. Thoda heat bhi hoga, thoda light bhi hoga. That is the meaning of this. So we have two different junctions, right? Homojunction and heterojunction LEDs. In case of homojunction, the internal quantum efficiency is only 50%. So this is what the disadvantage of LED. We are trying to, most of the researchers, they are trying to work on this to improve the internal quantum efficiency. In case of heterostructure, we have achieved around the efficiency of 60 to 80%. So this is about the internal quantum efficiency. Now talking about the power, because our aim is efficient, kitna generate hua hai we want, how much amount of power is generated inside the LED, in the active region we wanted. For that, consider a current is injected, because we are forward bias junction hoga, right? So we will be looking at heterostructure mein already we have seen. So we want a current. So consider a current injected into the LED as I. If I indicate a current as I, then the total number of recombinations per second, that is RR plus RNR altogether is equal to I by Q. Remember this, okay? You have a equation, qualitative equation is again study is given for this. There's no, from where we have got it, okay? Just remember RR plus RNR is equal to I by Q. I is the current injected and Q is the charge. So from this, I can substitute. We know this equation already. Efficiency, internal quantum efficiency is RR by RR plus RNR. So instead of this denominator, I can substitute I by Q. I'm substituting. I will get this efficiency as Q into RR divided by I. So this is the equation I got. And finally, from this radiative recombination rate, that is RR is equal to efficiency into I by Q. So this is the equation I got. RR is the total number of photons generated. So इससे आपको क्या मिलेगा? How much of light is getting emitted? This कितने photons generate हुए हैं? Okay, and अगर आप n number of photons generate हुए हैं, that is 10, assume करो, and each having the energy C E, okay, so total energy kitna hoga? 10 times E, right? So each photon has the energy h mu, and RR is giving you the total number of photons. Okay, it is nothing but 10 or n. What I am giving you the example. So total number of photons का information आपको RR से मिलेगा, and each photon has the energy h mu. So I can get the total power by multiplying these two. कितने photons generate हुए हैं and each photon का energy कितना है, because P equals to E by T, right? and RR is what? Rate, recombination rate. So P internal is equal to RR into H mu, or RR I'm substituting efficiency into I by Q. Substitute that and just rearrange the terms. So internal power that is generated inside the active region. Okay, I'm not still into the outside, I'm still inside the heterostructure. So आपने कितने सप्लाई किए हैं कैरियर्स एक्टिव रीजन में, उसमें कितने रिकम्बाइन होके कितना फोटोनिक एनर्जी आपको मिला है, कितने एमिशन, हाउ मच अमाउंट ऑफ लाइट यू हैव गॉट. So that is the power generated inside the active region is this. This is one part that I talked about. Active region is internal. Talking about the external, जितना generate हुआ है, it is not necessary that completely will come out. So not all the internally generated photons, they will be available at the output. So we have to find the emitted power also outside. आपको fiber में couple करने के लिए कितना मिल रहा है, that we need to find.